Hello everybody, Levi Clay here, and after the success, and it was a success, much more of a success than I was thinking it would be, of me taking a look through the new Ibanez 2018 catalogue yesterday, I thought actually it would be quite interesting for me to see how that compares to the lineups that other companies have announced. So I had a little bit of a look around, and it seems ESP have started to show off some of their 2018 new guitars, and some of them look great. So I thought I would take a look at them, give you some of my opinions. Not that my opinions matter, of course. I mean, more than anything, I'm interested in your opinions. So, comments below. Let me know what you think of some of these guitars. And how do you feel it compares to the Ibanez range? It's going to be tough to beat that Ibanez AZ range this year at NAMM. So anyway, here we are on ESP's page. As I scroll through, we have some new Signature Series editions. And the first one is another George Lynch Kamikaze. So you look at this and you go, is this new? I mean, we've seen a lot of these from George over the years. Actually, I don't mind that colour scheme. I think it's quite cool. But look at that headstock. Look at it. What have they done? I can't decide if it's dreadful or horrendous. It's one of the two, but I'm not entirely sure. No, okay, that's going to appeal to someone. Not my cup of tea, though. I don't mind the Kamikaze guitar generally, but yeah, that headstock, not so much. George Lynch also has another new signature model. I wasn't aware that George was kind of strong in the public mind at the moment, so it's good to see that ESP feel that two signature models is going to do well. Of those two, I probably prefer the original, the Kamikaze. I don't know why you'd want two humbuckers and a single core with a humbucker in the middle. But again, if that appeals, yeah, why not? It doesn't appeal overly to me. Now I like this. The Carpenter Telly. Oh yes. Beautiful. I like sparkle finishes. I'm a big fan of sparkle finishes, and I'm a big fan of Telecasters. So, yeah, what's not to love about that? They've not released their specs on things yet, so it's hard to know what wood this is going to be. Obviously, that's going to be problematic if it's rosewood. It could be Palfero. Who knows? And am I right in saying, is that are they Fishman? Yeah, Fishman pickups in there. Yep. So, yeah, good stuff. Not as crazy on the finish, sorry, on the body shape of this. But sparkle finish, definitely a winner. Yeah, so the Telly is a 7-string and that's an 8-string. So, yeah, if you want an 8-string. I mean, as we go down, there's an 8-string that I think is very interesting as we go on. So, yeah. This, that is a stunner. And you know what breaks my heart about it? The thing that breaks my heart is, so I scrolled through this list, obviously, before I started filming this, and I stopped at that and thought, wow, that is a nice finish. As I say, I like a sparkle finish. But now I've just seen it as a Kirk Hammett signature. No! Why? Yeah, I like the finish. The board, the fingerboard, looks a bit kind of, maybe not the best one to have taken a picture of. But yeah, why not, eh? I mean, I'd probably love that more if you took the KH off the headstock, stuck an ebony board on it, and you'd have a winner there. That's great. This, yeah, super interesting. I don't know who Neil Westfall is. I apologise for that. If you're after a simple guitar, that's, yep, we're going to do the trick. Andy James, another Andy James signature. Now this is cool. This is very cool. More affordable because it's an LTD. And interestingly, it has an Evertune bridge on it. I've been talking with Andy quite a lot recently about Evertunes and things like that. I've wanted an Evertune for quite a while, and Andy loves the Evertune bridge. So yeah, I was going to have one put in that Vigier 7-string there, but I'm in the process of ordering a new guitar that has an Evertune in it. So news on that when I have more news. But yeah, great to see that Andy is still being supported by ESP. For those unfamiliar with Andy, you know, he is one of the best shred and metal players on the scene today. He's just pushing all manner of technical boundaries. Not in that Jason Richardson camp, not in the modern camp, but like a traditional shred metal player. So that's very, very cool to see. And it seems that he also has a white version, which is a 7-string version. So 7-string with an Evertune. That works for me. The thing I like about the Evertune is because of the tension-based nature of it, you can hit those strings really hard and they don't go sharp if you have it set that way. The problem I always have with 7 strings, and particularly 8 strings, is the lower strings tend to be either too floppy, or you put a string on there that's so thick and tight that the string doesn't sound good anymore. And to me, the Evertune kind of helps with that. You can have a lighter gauge string on there and still hit it relatively hard and it not go out of tune, which is nice. So very cool. Yeah, good to see Andy's doing well with ESP, and they're still giving him the support he deserves, because he's an absolute trooper and a monster. If I were to criticise these, I said it in the last video, the 12 fret tramp stamp. But if you're a huge Andy James fan, you're going to want to wear that proud. I would love that guitar, maybe with just a completely plain board. Very cool. I love that matte black finish. Cool. So is this supposed to be someone I'm supposed to know? Oh, okay. Bay him off. Yeah. I mean, it's an Eclipse, isn't it? It's simple, to the point. Fair enough. I'm just scrolling through. I don't talk about basses. Yeah. I'm going to go with a no on that. Old Bill from Mastodon. That is right, isn't it? Yeah. No. Pass. Thank you very much. Okay. I mean, it's a Viper. It's an aged Viper. Not really seeing anything that jumps out as cool. Yeah. The less said about V's, the better. But maybe that appeals to you. Let's get into some of the interesting stuff. So the multi-scale guitars. Yeah, multi-scale is becoming relatively popular. You can just about here see my bass. I have a Dingwall bass, and that multi-scale is fantastic for that low string. And it kind of goes back to the Andy James guitar and talking about the Evertune bridge. Having multi-scale is a way of getting around that, because obviously, as you can see, the length from the bridge to the nut is considerably longer on the low string than it is on the high string. So you're going for that middle ground where the tension is very, very solid on the bottom. You can have a lighter gauge string but still maintain a high level of tension without compromising and having to have super tense high strings. So I'm not... Okay, varying scales of 27 to 25.5, which is, yeah, that's about ideal, right? Having a 25.5 on the top, Fender scale length, so it's going to feel like your regular guitar on the top few strings, but then going down to a 27-inch like baritone scale length on the bottom. So if you play a lot of detuned stuff, they're definitely worth considering. It's very difficult to make an informed opinion because they haven't released prices on them yet, but yeah, certainly something to consider. And Ibanez have bought those out this year as well, so that's cool. And that is a 7-string, and they've also, by the looks of things, yep, got an 8-string, which is fine. I'd be surprised if these were only available in the one colour, but then again, maybe not surprised. Yeah, I like that. Multi-scale 8 strings, to me, again, I don't think I've ever played an 8-string where the low string worked the way I wanted it to. It didn't have the sound I wanted it to. I remember when Sam Bell bought the Tosin Abassi, the TAM 100, the original Tosin Abassi signature in for review, and I sat down and had a play on it. And Tosin is one of the poster boys for the 8-string guitar thing, and yeah, it just sounded flubby on the low end. And maybe that's because I pick hard or whatever. Looking for a solution to that is going to be important for guitar players. That's not tuned as low as a bass guitar, and bass guitars aren't the same scale length as a 6-string guitar, are they? And why are they not the same scale length? Because you need that extra scale length for the tension on the string. So look, a black metal series. How very to the point is that? I mean, that's quite cool. That's very cool. Very to the point. No fucking around. There's a pickup in it and a volume knob. I like the fact that they've even sort of blacked out the logo. That gets my seal of approval. Oh, that is cool. That is very cool. An M series with a Floyd on it. The one pickup, just a none more black approach. I'm going to send that to a friend. He's going to enjoy that. And I always like the Viper series. So cool to see that. And it seems, interestingly, the Viper is a 7-string. Fair enough. Yeah, why not? Can't complain. LTD Deluxe 1000 series. Now, this I found very interesting. So we've got an Eclipse with an Evertune. 7-string Eclipse with an Evertune. Very Andy James. I'm sure that he will probably be playing this at some point. That is, yeah, cool guitar. You know, based on what I've already said about Evertune, you should already have a good idea of my opinion on the Evertune bridge. I think it's a very cool system for certain types of players. I feel it has some drawbacks. You'd need guitars other than an Evertune for things like, you know, you end up with a sort of compromise when it comes to bending. If you want to bend and you have an Evertune, then it has to be set in the way that allows you to bend. But if you allow that on the bridge, so your strings will bend and it won't fight the additional tension that you're adding, then it also won't fight the additional tension that you add when you pick a string very hard. So, you know, it's great for certain things. For tracking metal rhythm guitars, Evertune, awesome. For a live gig, maybe not as awesome. There we go. That is cool. I actually wasn't even aware that Evertune offered an 8-string bridge. So that maybe that's, I could be wrong on that, but maybe that's completely new. Here, you know, this is the perfect thing for me because in theory, that low string should sound good. In theory, I've not played one, but I would imagine that by the very nature of the fact that when you pick it, it's not going to go sharp, that should be very cool. And I'm surprised that they are not doing more of those. So ESP, kind of hats off to you on that. That is very cool. Yeah, maple top. Is that maple top? It's an LTD, so I assume it's a laminate. Again, more Evertunes the better. Yeah, classic, just Eclipse style guitars. Nothing for me to jump out and go, oh, that's interesting, oh, that's cool. So the bold angular curves of the Horizon 3 while being made available at a price that most musicians can still afford. Yeah, cool. I like the, you know, the string throughs, fixed bridge type things. So these appeal, definitely appeal. That's that 7-string, nice flamboyant deluxe, the see-through purple, cool. Getting into the traditional. I look at this and I just think Danny Gill, but that's from spending years at Lick Library and hanging around Danny Gill, who plays an old ESP like that. So, oh, look at that monstrosity. What have they done? We created the LTD 400 series as the perfect choice for musicians who are serious about their live performance and recordings, but not so serious on their appearance. Fair enough, fair enough. That's going to appeal to some people, isn't it? Obviously not very me. But yeah, fair enough. So 6-string, 7-string, no 8-string version. I've never been a fan of kind of natural wood finishes. Never been my cup of tea. But I know, you know, some guys that just, they go crazy for just a natural wood finish. So what wood is that? Any info on that? Just mahogany top, okay. Yeah, kind of to the point, right? And nice that we've got both a trem and a fixed version of that. Or a string through body. Yeah. To me, I just look at that and it's like, somebody forgot to finish this guitar? Like quite literally, it has no finish on it. Well, it's got a satin finish, but... So 200 series, tremendous amounts of value. So we know these are going to be the cheap ones. Yeah, a V, a trem on it, why not? 7-string Eclipse, very cool, and an 8-string Eclipse. See, this is going to sell relatively well for people that want an 8-string, right? They like the single cuts and they like 8 strings. But obviously, I'm not an authority when it comes to 8-string guitars. I don't own one, I don't play one, and I can't ever see myself owning or playing one. But yeah, it's just that logic of that low string. It does trouble me. So, you know, save up, get the Evertune one. I guess it depends on the price difference. That just looks like a cheap guitar to me, but, you know, fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what your budget allows and these appeal to you. I always like the the dolphin headstock that they put on the Brett Garsed signature. Oh, hello. I do like a bright guitar, and that is a bright guitar. So, and a see-through red. So this is just the M200 series, the see-through black, the MH. It's a lot of new guitars. So very cool, and updated basses. Again, I don't talk about basses. So there we go. If I was going to have to pick a winner on that, the one that I think is coolest, the one that I think will do the best on the market, I'd probably lean towards that EC 1008 Evertune 8-string Eclipse. I also really like that black metal. Very cool. And of course that Andy James signature with the Evertune. So there we go. ESP for the year. They seem to be pushing quite hard on the Evertune front, which is awesome. Great for them. Can't complain about that at all. What do you think, though? Do you think that this is comparable to the Ibanez offering for 2018? Obviously, very different brands, kind of pitching to different markets. But yeah, maybe ESP is the brand for you. Have you seen something in there that you think is interesting? Something that you might consider buying? Let us know in that comments section below. Lastly, if you have enjoyed this video, I would encourage you to click this button down here, subscribe to my channel. You can check me out on Patreon up here and support me for as little as $1. Gets you access to my private patron-only Facebook group. Lots of cool stuff happening in there. And of course, 2 more of my videos here and here. Thanks so much for all the support, guys, and I will see you for another video again soon. Bye.